we're going to be talking about what's new in Spider 5. So what is new? Well, we have the 4 combo versions in the head. We also have a really clean face design, upgraded cabs, amps, and effects. We have over 200 of them. A really cool speaker design where it's actually a main speaker as well as a tweeter, so you actually have the ability to get full range out of a guitar amp, which traditionally is not something that you've been able to do. Finally, we have a USB output, so we can record both out of your unit by USB, but you can also remote control it from your favorite Android or iOS device. And then when you look at some of the bigger units here, we've got the 60 through the 120, we actually have a built-in looper, which is something that a lot of people have been excited about. And then finally, we have this amazing thing called Relay Ready. So I'm going to talk about what Relay Ready means, but we've got that available on the 60 up through the 240. Speaking of the 240 HCs, just so we know what's happening with that, we've got a powerful head. You know, when you take a look at it, it's a 240 watt amp head, right? So that's got some power to it. But this is really unique. It actually has stereo speakers inside of the amp head. So what this is going to give us, not only do we have the stereo 4 inches, but we also have the tweeters built in. So you get a full range head without it being plugged into anything. Another neat thing that you're going to notice about this amp, which is new for Spiders, is the fact that it actually has a built-in metronome, it's got built-in drum sounds, and it also has this really cool demo riff mode that I want to show you. So for example, if I were maybe trying to work on a riff and I just want to kind of hear what this is going to sound like if I had a drum beat behind me, we've got a bunch of really cool drum riffs already in here. So all I have to do is hit the play button. So I've got a bunch of cool stuff in there. I can just kind of get a feel for what sort of things I want. But we've got blues, we've got rock, we've got some cool little swing things in there. So we've got that option in there. Another cool thing that you can do, you see where right now on the screen, you see those 2 little 1/8 notes connected. If I were to just press down, all of a sudden now I'm in the metronome section. As a guitar teacher, I often was encouraging people, you know, you should really play with a metronome. And then, you know, students, either they lost their metronome or it's buried under their bed or something, the dog ate it. So what's great about this is you actually have a metronome built right into the amp. Another really neat feature about this is for guitar players maybe who don't have a ton of time, but they want to hear all 128 presets really quick. There's a really neat feature in here for the demo riff. So check this out. I'm just going to change this over to where it looks like the little cassette with a guitar over it. And what's going to happen is it gives me a few different types of riffs that are pre-recorded, and I can hit play, and then I can go through all 128 presets, maybe find the 3 or 4 that I like. I can save those and use them later. So check this out. All I have to do is... So it gives me the option to be able to hear lots of stuff really, really quick. I don't even have to have a guitar plugged in, and I'm going to get the ability to hear what this amp sounds like. So I want to talk about Relay Ready, and what does Relay Ready mean? So a lot of people may have noticed I'm using this wireless system, right? So this is what's called a Relay G10. This is the G10T because it's a transmitter. The thing that I think is so cool about G10 is there's no buttons you have to push. There's no battery that you have to change out. It's not like there's 2 AA's in here. All you have to do is plug this into your amp, and now it's charging. And then, you know, traditionally, like, wireless setup is something that people get really concerned about, like, oh, you know, you have to scan for frequency. You don't have to do that here. All you have to do is unplug this, plug it in, and you're set up. And that's the entire setup process. And to me, this is one of my favorite things. You know how when you have a really high gain preset and you accidentally pull the cable out, there's this huge annoying pop? Get ready. There's nothing. Because there's this cool little plunger built into it, so it won't actually transmit audio unless that's depressed. So check it out one more time. We probably should have called this Acoustic Ready, because this is the first Spider amp that actually has a full range speaker system in the entire line. So what I'm going to do here is unplug. I go into my little adapter here. That's a pretty awesome sounding acoustic sound. You know, not discounting the fact that this is mainly meant for electric guitar players, but to me this sounds really great as an acoustic. And so this is actually a preset that's right in the amp. It's just, I just tweaked it a little bit to, actually I think I got rid of a little reverb, but that was pretty much it. Taking a look on the back panel, which we'll turn back around so you can see real quick, but we have it on the screen too. I did want to point out the fact that we have this USB output, which I referenced earlier. So we not only have the ability to record by USB, but we can also control it by an Android or an iOS device. So just so you can see what that looks like, I'm going to show you my little iPad up here. This amazing device. So we're going to take a look at the iPad through the AirPlay, and I'm going to show you what the editor actually looks like. So just to give you an example of maybe this kind of chiming guitar sound that I had before. Maybe I want to see what's actually happening on that delay, so I'm just going to select that. Looks like I've got the tempo at 126 beats a minute. I could maybe make that a little slower if I want. So I put in whatever my tempo is, and now I just turn the delay on. So I can start modifying this. Maybe I want to throw on another delay, so I'm going to just scroll down here, maybe turn this on, like that. So I can just sit and have fun with this. To me, sometimes it's easier to graphically edit it than it is to like do deep dive through the menus, but it really just depends on whatever your workflow is. So let's take a look at the entire family. So just to kind of break down and see what combining all of these things, and then maybe how are they different. So the things that are common among all the Spider 5 amps, we got the same clean modern design. We've got 200 amps, cabs, and effects. We've got 128 presets. We have bi-amp systems. We have the USB output that you just saw me using, which we could also use for recording. And then from the 60 and up, we have both the built-in looper and the relays. The thing that I would like to show you all is the fact that this actually has not been using the 412 cabinet at all. So you'll notice the cabinet's not actually plugged in. So let's find out what happens when we plug this in, and I'm doing this upside down. I hope I plugged them into the right jacks. So now going back to, go back to my electric sound. So I have not changed any volumes. All I'm doing here is pulling up my original preset. So this is that high gain preset. You guys may want to plug your ears. So no volume changes, right? It's really, really, really loud, right? So it just kind of shows how powerful this amp is. That's just the head speakers. There's no cabinet being used at all. So that's going to wrap it for my Spider 5 demo. I recommend checking out the Spider 5s right behind you there. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.